a forward-looking statement slide, so I'll skip past this relatively quickly and just point out that I will be making forward-looking statements. I can't get into intricate detail on everything today, so I do invite you to visit our website and see our filings for more fulsome details of some of the topics I'm going to be touching on. Oops, sorry. So where I'd like to focus my time in our talk today is on 6 key reasons we believe Bear Creek mining represents a compelling investment opportunity. First and foremost, as Eric mentioned, our flagship Corani deposit is one of the largest undeveloped silver polymetallic deposits in the world. Secondly, and no less importantly, we are highly leveraged to increases in silver, lead, and zinc prices. Corani has a projected 18-year mine life, and we believe this will capture at least one, if not more, of the coming metal price cycles. Corani is an executable mine. We believe it can be financed and built. We enjoy exceptional community and government support for the project, and we expect to hit some key milestones in 2018. So I'll go through each of those points in slightly more detail now. Corani is one of a handful of large, currently undeveloped silver polymetallic deposits, but it is the only one of its stage and size that exists in a mining-friendly jurisdiction, in this case, Peru. Corani contains proven and probable reserves of 225 million ounces of silver and a combined 4.5 billion pounds of lead and zinc. It is a sizable deposit. This will support annual average production of approximately 8 million ounces of silver every year and over 150 million pounds of combined lead and zinc for an 18-year mine life minimum. There is actually a ring of resources that are not even included in this mine plan that under certain metal conditions or metal price conditions can potentially be upgraded and mined as well, and they occur in sort of the periphery of the reserves. The production has low all-in sustaining costs of just over $5 per ounce of silver net of byproducts life of mine. And in the first 6 years, we will be mining a particularly high-grade portion of the deposit, and will produce about 12 million ounces of silver at just over $1.80 per ounce. Payback on this operation is less than 4 years. So the key takeaway from this is that Corani is another world-class deposit, has a long mine life, and has no fatal flaws. As Eric mentioned, and frankly one of the key investment theses for Bear Creek is that the Corani deposit, and by extension Bear Creek, is highly leveraged to metal prices, silver in particular. For every $1 move in the price of silver and proportional increases in lead and zinc prices, there is an impact of $112 million on the net present value of the Corani deposit. Bear Creek has 103 million shares issued and outstanding, so you can see that with relatively small and achievable increases in metal price, there is a real strong direct drive to our share price. And I think that the graph on the bottom sort of shows that graphically with the silver price on the x-axis and the NPV of Corani on the y-axis, and you can see it increases relatively dramatically. The table on the top of the slide, I should put these in reverse order, but in any event, shows the economics of the Corani deposit at per the most recent technical report we filed in October 2017, and then at metal prices this week. So the NPV, net present value of Corani, in the technical report is $404 million, has an internal rate of return of 15% and a payback period of 3.6 years. Yet at today's prices, and this is frankly with $1 less per ounce of silver, lead and zinc have definitely been our friend. The NPV of Corani is over $630 million, an IRR of just under 20%, and a 3-year payback. So there's a really profound impact of metal prices on this deposit. I'm not going to spend too much time on this slide, and by no means do I profess to be an economist, but this aligns fairly closely, I would say, with Eric's introduction speech as well. The graphic here shows basically the commodity price patterns of the last 3 commodity price cycles. These are not economic cycles per se, they're commodity price cycles. The point I want to make with this is with an 18-year mine life, Corani is expected to capture at least one, if not part of a second, full metal price cycle. It's not a short mine life that will fall into a trough. Corani is an executable mine. It is located in southern Peru, just off of the Interoceanic Highway. It has obviously easy road access and also has electrical lines currently most of the way to the mine site itself. We will be upgrading those electrical lines, and we will be the first operation to draw off of a new electrical generating station that's located just to the north of us. It is a very sparsely populated, high Andean environment. We have no concerns or issues or need to move communities or houses, and so it will have a very small impact on the local communities. And we have very strong community and government support, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. Both the mining methods and processing methods are based on proven technologies, and as I already mentioned, it's got a long mine life and it's a financeable project. Corani will take a substantial amount of capital to build, estimated at about $585 million. We've had some early talks, and those are becoming more robust talks with potential project finance participants. And certainly our early indication is that the capital can be raised for this project through a combination of debt, equity, and the monetization of our base metal production through offtake and streaming agreements. Excellence in corporate, social, and environmental responsibility is a core value of Bear Creek, and it's something we have put into production throughout the life of our company, and certainly something that we employed from the day we set foot in the Corani area over 10 years ago. We've worked very hard to establish social license, and as a result, we enjoy exceptional community support for Corani. In about 2012, we signed life of mine agreements with 5 nearby communities, and that led to our receipt of the environmental permit for Corani in 2013 and reapproval of the environmental permit in 2016. Various government officials regularly cite our corporate social responsibility practices as a template for mining companies to follow in Peru, and government officials from the Mines Ministry all the way up to the presidential office regularly cite Corani as one of Peru's next handful of mines that will come into production. So we enjoy very good government support as well. So I'm happy to report that the key goals that we set out in our speech at this exact conference exactly a year ago were achieved in 2017. We completed our phase 1 detailed engineering at Corani throughout 2017 and filed a new 43101 technical report. That's actually the 3rd feasibility study for Corani in October this year. I didn't talk about the Santa Ana project today, but some of you may recognize that name. It's a separate project that we held in Peru, and we're involved in an international arbitration claim. That arbitration case was concluded this year in favor of Bear Creek Mining, and we were awarded a little over $30 million in that dispute. We applied for the Corani construction permit as scheduled in late 2017, and we've also applied for the water permit. So our goals for 2018 are to secure the mine component of the construction permit as well as the water permit and all the remaining secondary permits necessary to go into production. And we do expect that to come in the first quarter of this year. We will advance Corani project finance discussions, and we intend to undertake some pre-construction and infrastructure initiatives at the Corani project. So overall, our goal for Corani for the foreseeable future is to move the project forward in a meaningful way, but with patience, and consider a production decision when market conditions and financing terms are compelling. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for your attendance, and I'm happy to answer any questions as we go.